My husband, 31, and I, 30 female, have been together for almost 6 years. We married about 2 years ago, and honestly, I thought everything was great between us. He had this close group of friends from way back, including his best friend, who was his best man at our wedding. They were always close, but I never suspected anything more than that. A few weeks ago, I found out he'd been cheating on me. And of course, it was a shock. But the real shock was when I figured out who it was with. Turns out he was seeing his best man. I confronted him, and after a lot of tears and honesty, he admitted that he was gay and had been struggling with it for years. I could tell it was painful for him to say, and I genuinely felt for him. He told me he really did care about me and wanted to make it work because he loved me in his own way. But finding out that the life we built was based on him hiding a part of who he is, I don't know. It broke something in me. I told him I want a divorce. I didn't want to ask him or tell anyone what he told me because it's his story to tell, not mine. But I also feel like I just can't carry this secret around while people ask me why we're ending things. I gave him an ultimatum. He needs to come out and be honest with everyone. It's not about shaming him or anything, but I feel like if he's brave enough to start fresh, he should own who he is. The thing is, he says he's not ready. He thinks I'm pushing him too fast, and he's scared of how people will react. I get it, but I also feel like I'm carrying the weight of this secret on top of my own heartbreak. Friends and family have asked me questions, and I've been deflecting and lying to protect him, but it's getting exhausting. Some people are even questioning if I did something wrong, and that just hurts. My friends are divided. Some think I'm being cruel by forcing him to come out before he's ready, and others say he's being unfair to me by putting me in this position. So am I the idiot for giving him this ultimatum? Should I just let him take his time? Or am I right to feel like I can't move on without the truth being out there? Not the idiot. I personally would tell everyone that he's a liar and cheater, and that's why you're divorcing him. It's not about everyone deserving to know the truth. This is about how you deserve a life without lies and being able to mourn the marriage he manipulated you into. You might consider suing him for deliberately misleading you and causing you trauma and emotional distress. I agree 100% with you. The act is vile. I know several women in your similar predicament. Many of them gave their husbands children first. Then hubby was ready to come out of the closet, live his truth, and fight these mothers for custody and child support. You need to leave now. OP's insistence that this has to be tied to him coming out makes me think she wants some vengeance, and therefore, everyone's the idiot here. OP, I think you have 2 answers when people ask you why you're getting divorced. That won't out until he's ready. They also don't require you to lie. The first is that you both realize you want different things and you both want to end it now while you still care for each other. If people push on what that is, you said that you're not ready to talk about it, but they can ask X to see if he will share. Then just repeat that they should talk with your ex. Since when did the cheaters have the right to say how things end and how people react? 6 years. He stole the most important 6 years of your life. This idiot has lied to you every single day you've known him. He doesn't love you. He's manipulated you and continues to. He deserves absolutely nothing. Who gives a heck if he's not ready? He was ready to use you as a cover. He was ready to waste your life for his own benefit. He was ready to induce you into a sham of a marriage. Why didn't he just stay single and in the closet? Get angry. You have a right to be. Leave and tell whoever you want. It's your story now. I, 29 female, have been in a relationship with my boyfriend Mike, 31, for about 1.5 years. We've been talking about moving in together, and he recently brought it up seriously, saying he wants to take the next step. At first I was excited, but now I'm having my doubts, and I'm starting to feel like I might be the idiot. Mike has some habits that I found hard to deal with, even though I love him. He doesn't clean up after himself, like, at all. I'm not talking about minor things like leaving a cup on the counter. I'm talking about leaving dishes piled up for days, clothes all over the floor, and food wrappers everywhere. He never takes out the trash, even when it's overflowing. And when I try to ask him to help or even clean up after himself, he acts like I'm asking for too much. He says things like, "I'm just not a clean person," or "That's your thing, not mine." I've tried to have calm conversations with him about it, and while he agrees that it bothers me, nothing ever changes. I've also noticed that he spends most of his time on the couch watching TV, and if I ask him to help with something, he'll either put it off or say he's too tired after work. I've talked to him about moving in together, and I've told him I'm just not sure if it would work because I don't think I can live with someone who won't contribute to keeping the space clean or help with daily tasks. He got defensive and said I was making him feel like a burden and that he was willing to try harder. But honestly, I've heard this before, and I'm not convinced. I love Mike, but I'm starting to feel like living together might be more of a hassle than a joy. I don't want to be the person who does everything while he chills out. I also don't want to become resentful. I've tried talking to him about it, but now he's hurt, saying I'm not giving him a fair chance and that he feels like I don't trust him. I'm just not sure if this is something I'm willing to put up with long term. Am I the idiot for refusing to let him move in unless he changes these habits? You're wasting your time with this guy. He's a slob, and you aren't. This won't change anytime soon. Don't move in together. You will be doing all the work, and he'll just sit on the couch watching TV. You will become resentful of being his maid. He's manipulating you to get to back off from holding him accountable to clean up his act. Literally, if he hasn't changed in 1.5 years, he isn't going to. If you decide to be his maid, please do not have children with him. You will end up working full-time, cleaning full-time, taking care of Mike's needs full-time, and handling the baby full-time. All the while, he'll be chilling on the couch telling you how you are giving him a fair chance so that you don't trust him. Just say no to dating this loser. You're not compatible. You will not be able to live with him. Don't waste your time on someone like this. I don't like the phrase "you're not compatible" in this context. It makes it seem like both are just different people with ways of living that are equally valid and correct, just not compatible. When in reality, one is a normal, well-adjusted adult person, and the other is akin to an immature teenager. No one is compatible with a total slob who cleans nothing. Even other slobs aren't. They need someone to clean up after them. My teen male name is Nico and is not short for anything. On my birth certificate, it says Nico, middle name, and last name. This is something a few people can't understand, and some people call me Nicholas. Even teachers who see me on the class list as Nico and not Nicholas. I'm a foster kid. I've been in the system since I was a toddler. My mom is the only bio family I know, but she's not able to take care of me. I see her twice a year through court-ordered visits, but I don't see anyone in her family or have anything to do with my paternal side. I've been with my current foster family for 3 years, and I'm really happy with my foster parents and foster siblings. My foster parents actually want to help the kids they foster, and their kids are cool with their parents fostering and don't bully me or others for stealing their families. So I hope I get to stay until I age out of the system. My only problem is some of their extended family are snobs, and they don't like calling me Nico, so they call me Nicholas even after being corrected 1,000,000 times. My foster parents have explained that my name is actually Nico, not Nicholas, but the reply is always, "But Nico is short for Nicholas." A couple of the extended family members have encouraged me to change my name because Nicholas sounds much more professional for an adult male, which I will be soon. I was like, no, thanks. My foster parents told me I should ignore whenever someone calls me Nicholas now unless they're new, and just assume, but I can ignore their family members who do it, so that's what I did. I've ignored them a handful of times now, and it bothers them so much. Yesterday it happened twice because one kept trying to call Nicholas over, and I just didn't go. The other asked Nicholas to pass the potatoes at dinner, and I kept eating and didn't pass any. I was then called out for ignoring them, and my foster parents said nobody knew who they were talking to because there was no Nicholas at the table. One of my foster sisters said she assumed it was Nicole, and they got confused, and that's why she passed it instead. I was told I should be more open to the wisdom others offer with name suggestions and stop being rude by ignoring people. Even though my foster parents backed me up again, it made me feel away because this really is my best foster experience, and I don't want to make people angry in my foster family. So am I the idiot? Your name is Nico, not Nicholas. It's extremely rude and disrespectful to deliberately call you by a name that isn't yours, especially with repeated corrections. It's even more rude and disrespectful to practically demand you change your name from something you like and see as yours to something you don't like and don't want. There's also nothing wrong with Nico as a name. Sure, It's not common, but it's not really weird either. Your name is your name, and no one else gets to demand it to be something different or call you by a name that isn't yours. Keep listening to your foster parents. It's them and their kids you want a good relationship with, not so much the extended family. The answer to Nicholas pass the potatoes is stop bullying me. However, if you want to be petty, you can change their name slightly. Start calling Uncle Stuart, Stewie, Aunt Katie, Cat, Aunt Isabel, Izzy, Uncle Richard, Richie Boy. I was petty as a kid, and I'm a certified petty adult now. If they don't call you by your name, do to them as they have done to you, but they'll flip their crap. Your name is Nico. Your name is an important part of who you are, and it's perfectly okay to stand your ground when people refuse to respect it. I would delve right into the situation at hand, but to understand it, you'll need some context. Many years ago, when I was a few weeks shy of becoming a tween, my sister ended up twisting her knee. For some reason, I found this funny and continually teased her about it. Eventually, I stopped, but I still made jokes about it from time to time. Just a few days ago, I ended up twisting my knee. It was painful, and I was stuck on the floor of the house for a solid 10 minutes, not being able to do anything. I would have asked my mother to help me, but she was in the shower. So I call out for my sister, who walks up to me and proceeds to laugh in my face. She just continually teased me until she went back to her room, leaving me there, unable to walk or move at all, really. Eventually, I was able to get up, but only after about 30 minutes. Am I the idea for not forgiving my sister for this? You laid there for 10 minutes without food or water. How did you survive? You are the idiot. Karma. She had to put up with your teasing for a year. You've had it once. And something tells me a tween who bullied her older sister over an actual injury for over a year probably didn't miraculously become a kind, loving sister after that. Yeah. Why didn't you laugh at yourself too? Surely you should have been able to see that it was still a funny thing to happen. Are you angry at her, or are you feeling like crap because you now understand how terrible it is to laugh at someone's pain? The sister is 23. If you leave your sibling in pain on the floor at 23, it doesn't matter if they were a little mean to you when they were a tween. Not the idiot, unless everybody in the world who was ever a child is an idiot. Did you act like an idiot as a tween? Of course you did. The whole point of childhood is to give you repeated opportunities to learn not to be one. That said, I can't blame her for cracking up, but she should have helped you. My 52nd female son, 22, started bringing his girlfriend over a little over a month ago. The first time he brought her over, I took it quite formally and cooked up a feast, but it soon became obvious it was becoming a daily thing and not just a one-time formal thing. At the first meeting, she came quite a bit late, and the food was cold by the time she arrived. No pardons or anything. And when we were done, everyone helped to pack up. And we thought she would kind of get the notion, but since it was her first time here, we didn't say anything. As for desserts, I like to do this thing. For example, for cupcakes, I would prepare the icing, and everyone would gather and decorate their dessert. But she made it quite clear from the get-go that she wasn't interested in it and stuff. So for basically the last month, she's almost here daily, and she would request specific dishes with no thanks and stuff. My other son, nearly adult male, has also gently verbally called her out on not contributing anything, but she said something along the lines of no ring, no wife duties. I don't see this as a wife's duty. I would do this for my friends, and everyone in my house put a hand in. My daughter's husband and sons. So today, when my son told me that she requested a specific meat pie for dinner, I was quite done. However, I don't want to affect my relationship with my son over this, especially since he really likes her a lot. But I'm really considering banning her from our dinners. So am I the idiot for banning my son's girlfriend from my house? Edit. The reason I have such a big problem with this is because my other children have brought their mates back. My oldest son and his girlfriend live in my house, but none of them have a problem like this. It was almost natural for them to contribute. Also, I don't have a problem with not wanting to decorate, but it's the idea of her not joining in with the family. For example, on movie nights, she would just stay in the room alone, and even my son was in the living room. So this girl, you barely know, is showing up daily, requesting specific meals, but not helping with prep, setting the table, participating in food rituals, decorating desserts, helping clean up, or even saying thanks. You should tell your son she needs to learn some manners and, at a minimum, won't be welcome to family meals until she learns some. Also, the nerve to request a specific meal. Jesus, I've been with my partner for 12 years and only ever requested something from my in-laws when they wanted to cook me a birthday dinner. And they asked me what I wanted. I will be having meat pie for dinner, woman, and no, I shall not be assisting in cleanup for, unlike you, I am not a wife enslaved by her marriage. Chop chop, peasants. Girlfriend is behaving abominably, but the son is worse, bringing her around and continuing to do so after she behaves so disrespectfully. OP has a son problem. Legitimately, I'm like, why aren't you telling your son off? This is clearly as much a son problem as a girlfriend problem. He is not a child. Your son is 22 and an adult. The next time he lets you know his girlfriend requests a specific meal, ask him which night they would like to cook that for the family. If the two of them are eating nightly meals with you, they can be responsible for cooking and cleaning up 2 times a week. Otherwise, I'd make whatever you want and give them the name of a restaurant that makes that dish.